We've dealt with this for decades, and we've dealt with it locally without federal involvement. And so I was proud to be part of a 10-0 vote, including our Democrats, very bipartisan, to say, thanks but no thanks, we're going to handle this locally.
All right, I think I'm going to change up the format just slightly because we're going to the end here. And this question I don't think was meant to serve as a conclusionary statement or a question for a good denouement, but I think it does. So I'll just ask this question of all the candidates in all the races, and we'll go back through. You'll get one final chance to answer this question yourself. And just because, for sake of time, we'll say 1 minute instead of 2 minutes. I don't think it's a very difficult question. I think you'll be able to get your answer in 1 minute. It is, what is the biggest difference between you and your opponents in the race that you are currently conducting? So 1 minute to answer that question. What is the biggest difference between you and your opponents? And we'll start at the top of the list with Senate District 10 and go down the line.
Only 1 minute. The biggest difference, I guess, is she has a record that we can look at that doesn't support public education, that does support interfering with the lives of Kansans in terms of restricting rights and restricting access to different kinds of things like Medicaid. I want to make the quality of life for all Kansans much better. I want to be able to look at the laws that we have and see how they are enhancing the lives of Kansans rather than looking at taking away things, limiting and restricting the rights and responsibilities of Kansans. Thank you.
Same question, what is the biggest difference between you and your opponents? And we'll now pose it to the three candidates in Senate District 21.
There's lots of differences. First, I'm here today. My opponent is not. He likes to hide from you if you don't agree with him. He also likes to condescend or just ignore you. I will listen to you. Those 7,000 doors, not all of them have agreed with me. And at the end of that conversation, they said, may the best candidate win. And I said, I will, thank you. No, in all honesty, transparency. I'm here for you. I will be your voice. I'm not going to hide from you just because we disagree. We're probably not going to agree on every issue, but I will show you respect. I will not hide from you. I will be accessible to you. My cell number is on every one of my cards, and I answer those phone calls. If I don't answer, I call you back. I will show up.
Thank you. I have four opponents to discuss, two of whom are here, two of whom are not here. But I think the main difference is I'm more interested in individual freedom than the others. I want you to keep your money, not get taxed to death. I want you to make your own life decisions on who you marry, what medicines you use, and every other aspect of your life. Number one is freedom.
The biggest difference between me and Greg Smith, the Brownback Republican incumbent, is that I can get things done that are positive for the state of Kansas and not backwards. My background, I've lived in my district for more than 20 years. I went to Shawnee Mission Public Schools. I interned at the White House this past fall. I am a marketing consultant now on a part-time contract basis, and I also unload and sort packages at UPS. I'm a Teamster, so I understand the meaning of hard work. I understand the meaning of getting the job done on time, which our legislature in the last couple of years has spent more than $1 million of your money, your tax-paying money, in special session that shouldn't even happen because they couldn't get their job done during the regular session. I think we need a new voice for Kansas, and that's yours. That's the voice of the people of Kansas. I'm an award-winning journalist who likes listening to people's hopes and dreams, but also their challenges. And I want to take your voice to Topeka and get things done effectively, moving Kansas forward beyond Sam Brownback. Thank you.
The same question to the race in House District 17. The biggest difference between you and your opponents.
Dinah kind of sold the great punchline there, but I'm here. It's true. We have a representative who has never once met with the city council of Shawnee or Lenexa, has never once met with the chamber, doesn't do legislative forums, wrap-ups, debates, doesn't attend local events. After a parade, he immediately leaves. He doesn't stay for the festivity. I will be there at all of that. The best part of this is being a representative, not a legislator. That's the part where you hit your head against the wall and you say, well, why did I do this again? The part is when you're a representative, when you get to engage in the community, you get to work with people, you get to find out what your voice is and take that to Topeka, not your own. That's the part I'm excited about. Additionally, I was born and raised here. I've lived in Shawnee for 30 years, minus a few when I moved to another state temporarily. My opponent, and when I speak to my opponent, I speak about the incumbent. He is not from here. He moved into this district 2 days before he filed to run. Now, I don't know how he afforded 2 apartments, but I will be here. I will continue to be a Shawneean and a resident and represent you.
Thank you.
I'd like to extend my thanks to the respective PTAs for putting this program on. If my opponent is Representative Hildabrand, his voting record stands for itself. He has been a consistent yes man for Governor Brownback. If my opponent happens to be Tom Cox, we agree on many things. We like each other and we've talked a lot. I think the difference there is that I can be a more effective legislator. So long as there's conservative control in Topeka, they control who sits on those committees, and they pick and choose who is on the committees that have more of an impact on your life. The Democrats have a seat at the table. They are guaranteed a seat on every committee. So on the important committees, we will be there representing you. I am honored to have the endorsement of KNEA, Kansas Families for Education, Johnson County Educators, the Mainstream Coalition, and the Greater Kansas City Women's Political Caucus, among others. Thank you.
Moving on to House District 18, same question, but the biggest difference between you and your opponent.
Who's going first? Vicki's here to be first, okay. I think the biggest difference between me and my opponent are, first of all, Cindy's been involved in the education process for a long time. She's been on the school board for forever, Northwest Advisory Board for 13 years, etc. And she's pretty well trained and captured in the process of how it works, how the system works, and how to move forward with the system the way it's been done in the past. I think the thing I present to you is that I think I can think outside the box. I haven't been just a part of the system, part and parcel forever. I've not been immersed in it totally. I have a very, very wide variety of backgrounds and abilities that I bring with me. And I think I can maybe think outside the box a little and maybe come up with some solutions to some of the problems that we're faced with. I think that brings something new to the table. I mean, we've been doing the same thing for a long time and some things aren't working so hot. So how are we going to fix that? Let's get somebody in here who can think outside the box and move us forward.
I would like all of you to imagine with me being in Topeka, working with transparency, working collaboratively, sharing ideas, working to address the current problems that we have. My opponent was handpicked by John Logan, and that is a Brownback, yes ma'am. That's a strong difference. Being on the Shawnee Mission School Board for 30 years, we've had to be innovative, we've had to be creative, because as funding has dropped, we have to look for ways to educate all students in a global world without any idea of funding, without staying stagnant, but growing. I have served in the legislature before for 6 years. I was blessed not to serve under Sam Brownback. Imagine with me a group that works together. Vote for Cindric.
Thank you. The two opponents in House District 23, the biggest difference between yourself and your opponent.
First of all, thank you to the PTAs for putting this on today. I really appreciate the chance for all of us to show up and talk to you about your concerns and address your questions. I think the biggest difference between my opponent and I, or the reason I believe you should vote for me, Amber Versola, on August 2nd and in November. Remember to vote in August because we do have a Democratic primary in our district. The reason I think that you should vote for me has less to do with the person she is than the job that's getting done in Topeka. I'm not asking you to I'm not running for the seat because of who my opponent is or anything specific she's done. I'm asking for your vote today because of what she can't accomplish in Topeka. 2 years ago, she stood in front of another PTA and asked that we send a businesswoman to Topeka instead of an activist. Well, it's been business as usual in Topeka since then. I'm sick of the status quo, and I hope you guys are too. And with that, I would ask you to take a chance on an activist, an award-winning activist. Send me to Topeka, let me do what I do best, and I'll fight for you.
My opponent, Amber Versola, and I know each other fairly well. We ran against each other 2 years ago for this seat. We are friends, and we share similar views on many issues. One of the biggest differences between us, though, is I have lived in District 23 for 34 years. She moved into the district 2 years ago to run for this seat when it looked like it would be an open seat, which it was. I have raised my children in this district. My children went to this school, and Shawano, and Trail Ridge, and I volunteered in those schools. We do have a difference in background. She is an activist. I have a background in journalism and business. I've been an editor for various business and trade publications, and currently I do freelance writing and editing. Amber and I prided ourselves on having a clean, friendly campaign 2 years ago, and I look forward to the same this fall. I'm unopposed in the Republican primary, but I do ask for your vote on August 2nd and November 8th, so I can continue working for you in Topeka.
And time to wrap things up, the two opponents in the State Board of Education race. Last question, go to the biggest difference.
I think there are a number of differences between my opponent and me, and I will say my 38 years in public education, my experience. I am also endorsed by KNEA, KPAC, Johnson County Educators, Mainstream Coalition, Greater Kansas City Women's Political Caucus, and Kansas Families for Education. I feel very strongly about teacher licensure, and I recently attended several forums on diversity in education. So I also disagree that we need to label students, because I think we need to know that we are serving or not serving our minority students. There are huge differences. Everybody doesn't learn the same, and I think we need to provide services based on how we are serving, and if that means labeling, then we need to know and understand that. So thank you. Vote for me, and thank you for having us here. Oh, my time's up, sorry.
Thank you, Chris. I'm looking at this is the first time I've seen her platform in written form, and we agree on a lot. High standards, rigorous standards. One distinction is I've actually participated in the writing of new math standards to replace Common Core. It's not a matter of a new math. Math is math. Arithmetic was figured out in Babylonian times. It's a matter of how we implement the standards. I will just note this. One of the interesting things as I work to formulate these standards with a number of professionals is Chris has an endorsement from Dr. Alexa Posney, who was the commissioner two and a half commissioners ago. And a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I ran for this office as an independent with no party affiliation. And I ran against Sue Storm, and Sue Storm prevailed because I came in third in a field of 3, which is easy to do when you're an independent. But I had a conversation way back then with Dr. Alexa Posney. And she said, one thing I'd like to do is eliminate grades. And the first thing I thought of was the performance grades, A, B, C, D, F. She meant the ordinal grades. And in the formation of our new math standards, that's exactly what we try to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. Go ahead and give a round of applause to our 12 candidates. Six different races represented here. The one question that was not asked, what are the Royals going to have to do to turn this season around? A little too controversial, are they buyers or sellers before the trade deadline? I want to thank you for showing up early on a Saturday morning. It's been a pleasure to host and moderate this forum. Devin does have a couple of final announcements before you guys leave. So thank you very much for showing up, and thank you once again.
Thanks again for everybody showing up, giving up a Saturday morning to come listen to a lot of great candidates here on stage. And I appreciate the candidates that agreed to show up and try to inform citizenry of where they stand on the issues. It's, one of PTA's functions is to inform and engage and outreach to people. So I appreciate you all for being here. And also, Kyle Palmer did great, support KCUR. I did not hear back from 3 candidates that weren't here, Senator Smith, Representative Hildabrand, and Senator Mary Pilcher-Cook. Please reach out to your specific elected and challengers in your specific areas and ask them questions. They should be accessible by email. Stay part of the process. Again, thanks for coming here.